Hey everyone, I'm Mike Holmes Jr. and I'm here today again. I'm back and I'm talking with Graeme from Reddhart Workwear right now. And Graeme and Reddhart Workwear, they donated a bunch of workwear to Working Gear. So this is one of our episodes for Holmes Family Effect. So we want to dive into that a bit and the importance of supporting an organization like Working Gear and how they made a difference. So Graeme, welcome and let's chat.
Yeah, well, thanks, Mike. Really appreciate you inviting me on today. And, you know, such a great experience being able to support you guys and the project that you've been doing. Wonderful, wonderful. We were so happy to get on board with you.
Well, thank you very much. And for those of you who haven't seen the show, let me give a little background. Working Gear is an organization in the Lower East Side of downtown Vancouver who helps people who are homeless or out of work get back on their feet. One of the biggest struggles with getting back on your feet or being homeless and trying to get a job again is not having workwear. Steel toe boots being a really, really big one because they're very expensive. So what Working Gear does is they provide steel toe boots, suits, hard hats, high-vis vests, sweaters, pants, you name it. They supply it to try and help people get back to work and get back on their feet. So this is an incredible organization that has made a huge difference. And we were fortunate to actually meet a lot of people who have come out the other side after going through Working Gear and having them help them. So Graeme and his team at Reddhart Workwear, they donated a bunch of workwear, which, as I just said, it's the biggest struggle. There is just getting enough to provide everyone.
Yeah, all too often. And I got to go back a little bit because over the years we've always had boots that come back barely worn or minor problems with them, and the manufacturers warrant them and they ask us to destroy them or donate them. So we've always been reluctant to destroy a good boot. We wanted to get it into the hands of somebody who could use it, and exactly the type of person that you were describing. In each of the cities, because we have 10 stores in the Western provinces, each of the cities there'll be a local charity like Mustard Seed in Calgary, other organizations that do the same thing. So we always gave them the boots. But when your project came along, and it just coincided with a time when we had a surplus of some brand new boots, and it was just perfect timing for your project and for us, and we were able to do something on a bigger scale than we'd ever done before. And I think it's important what you say, that the people that are getting these boots, a lot of them are going to be our future customers, and they're going to be the future productive members of society, earning a regular paycheck and everything good that comes of that. And
Yeah.
so we see those customers back. And I also want to mention, because we're based in the Western provinces, we've had cyclical economies. So guys have gone through their lives in the up cycles and the down cycles, good times when they're doing well, bad times, they lose their jobs, they've lost their homes, they're down on their luck. And when organizations and projects like yours come along to get them back on their feet, they are so grateful, and they're so receptive to it. It's a wonderful concept, a wonderful project, and we were
Yeah.
so
Thank you.
participate. Yeah.
Yeah, we were very happy to have you as a part of it. And I mean, you've definitely made a difference in a lot of people's lives. And, seeing there was two people that really stuck out for me in this project that came out the other side. One, his name is Mike. He's a young guy. He had a rough time, got involved with some bad people. And, he had a rough time and ended up on the streets for a bit. And then he got out of it and said, you know what, I want to get back on my feet. And I remember there's a pop-up shop in a park in downtown Vancouver where we were supplying, boots and shirts and pants and everything for people. And I remember meeting him and talking to him. And I thought, until then I heard all the stories, but it's one thing to hear it, then experience it and seeing the difference it made, and giving him a pair of boots and him saying, this was what was stopping me from getting to work. and I'm doing everything I can right now to get back on my feet. And then on the other side, there was Merv, who everything was going well, and he had work. He was down on his luck for a bit. Then, like you said, everything was going well. He's working hard, and it had nothing to do other than just bad luck, where he lost his job because of the pandemic. And then his mother's house burnt down, and it was just like one thing after the other. And the one thing that was there for him was working gear. And so they were able to help him and connect him with another opportunity to work. So again, this made a huge difference for a lot of people's lives. And being a part of that, I mean, I firsthand learned a lot working on this one. And, I'm so fortunate. I know I can speak for my whole family that we're so fortunate that people like you, Graeme, you hopped on board and helped out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who don't work in the trades don't appreciate that just because there's a job available, you can't just walk into it and take it. You can't go on a job site without safety footwear. And so you've got to have those steel-toed boots before you go there. And what we were able to do in this case was not just give a random pair of boots that had been a little bit worn, that was probably the wrong size. We were able to find brand new boots in a complete size range and a couple of widths, so the guys were able to get a comfortable, well-constructed pair of boots that was going to last them probably a year, a couple of years on the job, by which time they could be well established. They've got money in the bank again, and they can then go and hopefully come to Reddhart and buy a nice new pair from us. So yeah, you're right. The good that comes from this project is untold, and so many dimensions to it.
Yeah, and you know what? To your point there, you mentioned something that made me remember. You said all these things about the different sizes of the boots that you guys donated, and that was one of the things that I saw at the park that day. Is there were people that were like, I'm a size 12, but I'll take a size 10 and I'll jam my foot in there. They're desperate to get back to work, and they're like, I'll do whatever I have to do if I have to break my feet and force them in this boot. Having that option to actually get a pair of boots that fits their feet. I mean, they were so thankful. And seeing the men and women that went through there, and not all of them are in the trades, but a lot of them were, because as we know, there's a big shortage in skilled trades. So that's where a lot of work is needed right now. So if you're out of work and you're looking for work, the skilled trades is a great place to start looking.
Yes, because there's a lot of jobs there where you don't require too much in the way of skills, but you just need the boots and the gear to get in there and grab the shovel or whatever the starting job is. You jam your feet into a pair of boots that are uncomfortable. How do you do a 10-hour shift or even a 6-hour shift in uncomfortable footwear? So this provided a great opportunity for us. Real good.
No, that's great. And again, we thank you for being on it and being a part of this story, because it made a huge difference to Sarah at Working Gear and to all the people that come through at Working Gear. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, I highly recommend watching this episode. It's such a feel-good episode, and there's a lot of takeaway from it about the homeless situation, not only in the downtown Lower East Side in Vancouver, but just in general. I think there's a stigma not only in the skilled trades like we always talk about, but about homelessness in general. So check it out. Watch Holmes Family Effect on CTV and Crave. And thank you for everyone for tuning in today. I see your comments. I see you saying, hey, and we love the show. Thanks for tuning in. And thank you, Graeme. Is there anything else you want to say? A message you want to leave the people with?
Yeah, I would just like to thank all the 35 people in the Reddhart organization who got behind this. Some of them were foregoing bonuses or some commissions to make this work, but they were all on board on it, all across our 10 locations, and they thought it was a great thing for the company to get behind, made them feel good. And let's face it, 2020 was the most difficult year probably most of us have ever faced, and this was a little bit uplifting for our organization, as well as, of course, all the people that you were able to help. So thanks to you and everybody for your wonderful work and the effort you put into it. Great job. And we appreciate
Well, thank you, Graeme. And please give all those 35 people a personal thank you on my behalf and on my family's behalf, because that is extremely generous of you and of them to do what they did. And it made such a difference. I saw it firsthand, and I know you can see it on the show, but there's something about seeing it in person that it made the world of a difference to that community.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you, Graeme. You as well. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It was a pleasure chatting with Graeme here, and we'll see you again soon.
Okay. All the best.
You too.